What the heck is going on with Vancouver? It's literally like a post-apocalyptic city right now. It's like living in Mad Max or Escape from New York, except it's Escape from Vancouver, but you can't escape. And if you want to escape Canada, you also have to pay exit taxes. It's literally like living in hell right now, and I can't believe some of the scenes we're seeing this year in Vancouver. Really alarming if you are someone who lives there, also just someone who wants to visit there, because you hear that it's great, it's safe. Not anymore though, and it's also got beautiful scenery. It does have beautiful scenery as long as you're not focusing on what's actually going on in the streets. With that being said, let's dive into today's video topic. Vancouver, what the heck is going on? And you notice that there's also a lot of people there, not just, obviously on drugs. You'll see some people that are kind of bent over almost on a 90-degree angle. That's actually from opioids. Some opioids kind of lead your body to be so relaxed that eventually you almost have this like curvature that's done to your spine where it's basically going to be fixed into place, which is really telling about how powerful these drugs are. So powerful, a lot of them might have actually had relatively normal lives. Then as soon as they get hooked on some of these drugs, they actually end up on the streets because they become so dependent on them, and then their whole lives fall apart. But that's just one of the stories. I'm sure there's countless stories. If you ask a lot of these people on the streets, I would be very scared to even film in these areas, to be honest. Like, it's an easy way to get assaulted or attacked if you're filming, someone sees that you're being filmed or anything like that. Even if you're just filming the streets, you're not specifically trying to film an individual. It's really kind of scary to do that. I don't know if I'd ever do that. Who knows? If I ever go to Vancouver, maybe I'll see what the streets are actually like. I know Hastings is a very dangerous area. That whole street now is just a complete nightmare. And here's some more scenes from Vancouver. Unbelievable, just graffiti everywhere, people just passing out on the streets, drunk, high, you name it. Just absolutely brutal. This used to be like the cleanest city in all of Canada. It's still relatively expensive too, and this is what you're waking up to. Unbelievable. This is an expensive city, the most expensive city in all of Canada for real estate, and this is what you get. People living and sleeping in tents in busy areas downtown in Vancouver. This is not even just the park, okay? This is literally on the concrete. They just have their tent set up, and they're probably either passed out or doing drugs inside these tents, and this is a busy area. This is downtown Vancouver. Would you feel safe as a tourist walking around and seeing this on the street? I wouldn't.
Homelessness in Metro Vancouver is up again. This year's count shows over 5,200 people are without housing, a 9% increase since 2023. In the city of Vancouver alone, it's up 12%. And since 2005, it's skyrocketed by a 141%. What's more alarming is shelter space hasn't kept up, not even close. Indigenous people are especially impacted. They make up just 2.4% of the population here, but account for 34% of the homeless community. And over half of Indigenous respondents were sleeping completely outdoors. These numbers aren't just stats. They're a reflection of systems failing real people. Seniors, youth, folks in Delta and White Rock. Homelessness is rising across the board. This is a tough reality to face. But if we're serious about building community, housing has to be part of the solution.
Well, housing obviously has to be part of the solution, but I don't even really believe those stats, to be honest. Like, Vancouver's a pretty big city, and to say there's only like 5,000 homeless people there, absolutely not. There's no way in hell that's actually true. So let's do some research right here. So I asked Google in 2025 what the homeless rate is in the population in Vancouver. It says in March 2025, Metro Vancouver reported 5,232 people experiencing homelessness, marking a 9% increase from 4,821 people in the 2023 count. So that might be a crazy high spike, almost 10%, but I still don't believe that that's the amount. There's way more people homeless than that. I don't care what they say. That is definitely either just data that's not represented clearly, or just, inaccurate, or just kind of papering over the data and making it look like it's not as bad as it actually is, even though there's a huge spike in the last year.
A lot of people think that homelessness begins when they get evicted or when they're out there sleeping on the streets or in the shelters. But today, I just want to let you know that sometimes homelessness begins long before that. It could even begin while you have a job or while you still have a roof over your head. I mean, think about it for a second. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You barely have enough to pay your rent or to take care of your responsibilities. Sometimes you don't even know where that rent money is going to come from. And the little that you have to decide whether to pay your rent or to feed your kids. To be honest with you, that is homelessness. Because if nothing changes, if the pressure continues to build up, you will end up homeless out there on the streets and in the shelters.
Well, especially if you're living in places like Toronto and Vancouver where the rent prices are already so high that it's common to actually not be able to make rent. Eventually, if you have a landlord that doesn't get enough payments, they might actually force you out on the streets, and there you go, you're homeless. Even if you have a job, if the job doesn't pay the bills, and the bills being rent, credit card payments, phone bills, every sort of bill that you have accumulating, then obviously you could lead to being homeless in Canada, especially in the bigger cities.
Okay, so I've been homeless in Canada for about a year and a bit, and it's been going okay. I have all my mail forwarded to a P.O. box. However, I'm wondering if anyone knows the answer to this. You need, when you renew your license, you need a residential address, and you also need that for your car insurance. Now, I've had everything forwarded to my P.O. box from my old address for the last couple of years, but that couple of years is expiring very quickly, so I'm not sure what to put my address as anymore after my mail forwarding expires. I'm told you can't put a P.O. box as your address on government paperwork, but I'm wondering if that's my only option. So anyone out there who lives out of their car, who is a nomad, please let me know what you do about this paperwork.
Now, she lives in Vancouver, which is obviously a very expensive city, just like I was talking about earlier, and the whole video's subject is honestly about Vancouver and the homelessness there and how the city has fallen so far. But someone like that, you would look at her and you would never think she's homeless. She literally has all of her mail being mailed to a P.O. box. So it goes to show that it's not always the most obvious looking people that are homeless. Sometimes it could be people like that who are probably not included in those stats. Like the over 5,000 people that they say are homeless in Vancouver, I doubt she's one of the people that are actually included in those stats. With that being said, guys, leave your thoughts down below about this video's subject, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Vancouver, what the hell has happened to you?